Now, May is Vision Health Month in Canada, and it is a month to raise awareness about the importance of eye health and regular checkups. In fact, routine eye care can play a powerful role in dementia prevention, and new technologies like AI-powered retinal imaging can help detect Alzheimer's disease earlier than ever. So here to tell us more is Dr. David Schwartz, optometrist and Vice President of Innovation at New Look Vision Group and Iris, the visual group. Good morning, Dr. Schwartz.
Morning, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm thrilled to be joining you for Healthy Vision Month.
Well, sounds like really important information. I mean, they say eyes are the windows to the soul, but they apparently that eyes are also linked to brain health. Can you tell us more about the connection between vision loss and cognitive decline?
Yeah, so vision is our dominant sense. It's our most important sense. So much so that 80% of our experience in the world itself is all visual. Now, that's extremely important because we live in a digital age. And so we're connected to devices much more than we ever have been in the past. And so we're using our eyes much more for those types of purposes. And then on the other side of it as well, we're all getting older. And there's a lot of those different conditions that can affect the eye that actually increase in prevalence as we get older. Getting into the topic then and talking a little bit more about how there's a link between eye health and cognitive health, this actually gets into the space where it starts with how we're made. And actually, the and the brain are made out of the exact same material and they're connected. And so scientists have been looking at that relation between how vision can be changing, and if it is declining, if there's an impairment, and if it can be related to things like dementia or cognitive decline.
That's
You have to remember about 30% of the brain itself is all dedicated to vision.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So maybe just give an example of how, if you did have, say, you have some vision loss, how would that be impacting your brain or your cognitive health in a negative way?
Yeah, so there's a couple different theories on this one. One of them is if you have a decline in vision health, it can be related to other things going on in the body, things like high blood pressure, diabetes. So if you're not addressing, if you're not taking care of some of those other conditions, they will have an impact on the brain overall. The other part of it is, as I was mentioning, vision is so important to how we interact and how we perceive our world. And so you can imagine that if there's a decrease in your vision, you'd be actually starting to feel a little bit more isolated from that world. From a mental health standpoint, that can cause conditions, things like depression and anxiety. And then what they've also shown is that there's an association where if you have a decrease in that vision, that it can have an impact, a negative impact on language and memory over time.
Interesting. Okay, now I know that aside from your work as an optometrist, you do this innovative work. How is your team using cutting edge tools like AI to actually do retinal imaging to help detect diseases like dementia earlier?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of fun with myself and the team working in the bridge between technology and healthcare for the last several years. Anytime that I'm working with new technology, I like to break down the terms a little bit. So let's get into that. The first one, when we're talking about retina, retina is the light sensitive tissue. It's on the inside of the eye. And what it's responsible for, it's actually going to collect light. It's then going to transfer that light to your brain. And the brain then interprets that light and allows you to see. Then when we get into imaging, imaging is it's just a fancy term for taking pictures. The last part of this is we're talking about artificial intelligence, and you've probably heard a lot about that in different articles recently. Now, for me, when I look at artificial intelligence is a software. It's connected to a lot of data, a lot of different information, and what it does is it allows you to use that information to draw conclusions, to see patterns in the pictures that we're working with.
Interesting.
We've been involved with artificial intelligence for several years now. One of the things that you have to do with artificial intelligence is you have to fine tune those softwares. And so, one of the first things that we did was actually take a generalized piece of software and then start to fine tune it for the Canadian population. So, it's still early days, still very
Okay.
early days, but
So this isn't something I can't just call up my doctor and be like, I'd like to have that AI test that Dr. Schwartz was talking about on the show. This is going to come in time.
It will come in time. It is those early days. It is that you do see some availability, but it's there on a limited basis. But you could imagine a day in the not too distant future where your optometrist is going to be using that software to analyze images to help with things like prediction, diagnosis, monitoring, and treatment of different eye health conditions.
Well, super interesting and always important to shine a spotlight on eye health, and an opportunity to do so today is appreciated. Thank you, Dr. Schwartz.
Thank you very much. Just a quick reminder there on that front, your eyes are connected to your brain. It all starts with an eye exam. In the Atlantic, we have our clinics at Vogue Optical. So make sure that you're booking that eye exam and starting that conversation with your optometrist about eye health. And then as we're heading into the spring, summer months, since the things are getting brighter, we're spending more time outdoors. Wear your sunglasses. We know that one of the causes for vision impairment is exposure to UV light, which can cause conditions like macular degeneration and cataract. So very, very important that you're protecting your eyes for life.
Super. Thanks, Dr. Schwartz.